Many of us have questions about relief money, about unemployment, and about our loved ones' safety, especially at nursing homes. With Rebound Richmond, we put the spotlight on programs that offer unity and hope. I'm joined now by Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger from Virginia's 7th District with what is happening in Washington. Congresswoman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's a new technology for all of us, but it looks like it's working. And the House is working on passing a new COVID-19 relief package that includes more than $300 billion for small businesses with the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, we've heard from many of those business owners telling us how hard it had been to navigate the first part of that, and then the money ran out. Is this something that is going to be, in a sense, readily available for Central Virginia business owners?
So the Paycheck Protection Program did get off to a rocky start. The rules from the Small Business Administration came out relatively late, Thursday evening before the program went live. And so I have talked to constituents across our district who were initially denied or had trouble getting the loans. The important part with what we're voting on tomorrow is we are providing additional funding to the PPP program. Some of the initial hurdles we have gotten through. SBA has provided, continued to update its guidance. One challenge that still faces so many small businesses is the 75-25 rule. And that's a rule where SBA put in place real restrictions on how those dollars can be spent. And I've heard from small business owners, from restaurant owners in particular, but kind of across the board, retailers, that the 75-25 rule is too restrictive. So I led a letter with a Republican colleague from Wisconsin calling on the SBA to withdraw that, rescind that rule, and hopefully we'll see that moving forward. But currently that rule is still in place, but I continue to fight that restrictive rule. It wasn't congressional intent. And it really is harming people.
Because that 75% has to be spent on payroll in order to forgive the loan. And you're saying they need more flexibility because not everybody has that proportion in their expenses.
That's right.
Well, Ed, let's move on now to nursing homes, for example. There's money set aside for hospitals and nursing homes could be the beneficiary of some $25 billion. Canterbury Rehabilitation and Healthcare Centers in your district, obviously they're ground zero. And staffing, it seems, at nursing homes is an issue because they can only work at one place and most of them work at multiple places, and now no one wants to go to a hot spot. Is this going to change that?
So really, in the CARES Act, which we passed at the beginning or the end of March, that was the first effort that we undertook. That was $100 billion for hospital systems, nursing homes, and rehabilitation facilities. I had a call just last week with Seema Verma, who's the administrator of CMS, talking about the fact that I have been advocating for at least $25 billion of that $100 billion already allocated to go to nursing homes to support, because the problems that you outlined, staffing's a challenge because there's not enough personal protective equipment. Staffing's a challenge because so many workers do jump between locations. That's something that is not happening at the moment, but certainly that from an infectious disease control aspect, that was a contributing factor at so many of the outbreaks that we've seen at nursing home facilities across the country. So in my conversation with Administrator Verma, called on her and spoke with her about the fact that this $100 billion that was allocated to HHS in the last round, that we need funding to come to nursing homes. And that was a bipartisan effort. I had two Republican colleagues from the Commonwealth and another Democrat join me in calling on HHS to ensure that funding gets directly to our nursing home and long-term care facilities. That was not reflected in the first tranche of dollars that went out, about $30 billion. The formula that they used did favor hospital systems, which of course need relief. But where we're really seeing just tragic consequences of this virus here in Central Virginia is with our long-term care and our rehabilitation and nursing home facilities.
And we just have a little bit of time left, but can the federal government come up with a national testing program for the virus, or like Germany has done, antibody testing, so we can send people back to work so we know who can go back to work? Do you foresee that coming? Is there sort of a federal national overview on that?
That is exactly what we need. And on one of my subcommittees back in February the 5th, we had a hearing talking about what would be needed in anticipation that COVID-19 could get bad in the United States. So this was very early stages. There were a lot of discussions. We need national leadership on this. We need the executive and the administration to pursue a national testing strategy. It is going to be key to our ability to open our businesses and our economy, that we have a strong testing strategy. You mentioned Germany, like so many other countries have employed, where we can know where there might be potential outbreaks. We can do tactical containment and not see in the future just a complete shutdown of our schools and our economy into the future. We're not there yet. I continue to call on the administration, use every tool available to them. At this point, we see governors across the country responding and trying to rise to the occasion. But it isn't enough. We do need a national strategy, and I'll continue to advocate for that.
Thank you, Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. Appreciate your time. We are out of time, and good luck up there. And let's send it out to Francis.